Hello friends, welcome back. So far we created the API endpoints and we consumed it using the Postman interface. Okay, for example, let's see this Postman interface, and here if I go to the new tab and I try to access the let's say all employees list. So just remove the import from here, and when I hit the send button, you can see that I will get all the employees data on the Postman, and this is fine to test your API endpoints. But suppose a case where you need to show the API endpoint results on the browser with some visual format. So how you can do that in that case? So we need some kind of front end application. Let's say it could be Angular application, it could be React application, or it could be a mobile app like Android app or iOS app. Okay, so in this lecture we will try to learn that how we can create a React application and how we can populate or how we can consume this API endpoints to show the data on the React application. Okay, and we will do this using the chatgpt. So first of all, let's go to the chatgpt format, sorry, the chatgpt page, and let's click hide for this. Yeah, and now on the chat gpt that we will prompt here to help us that how we can create a React application. Okay, so first write a question that I want to create a new React application. How can I do that? How can I do that? Okay, so when you prompt this question, then ChatGPT will install you, I will let you know that what are the basic steps to create that. For example, it will show you that first step is to install the node.js and npm. Okay, and then install the create React application. Since I have node.js and npm installed in my system, okay, and if you are following this entire course, then I'm sure you also have the latest Node.js and npm version and the create sorry only the Node.js and npm version. Okay, and if you do not have the React app installed in your system, then you can follow this guide. Okay, and then you can create a new React application using this command. Okay, so we will create a new React app using this command. So we can just copy this command, that is npx create React app. Okay, so just copy this command till here, copy, and then switch to the terminal and open a new tab. Here you can just come out of this user management directory, and here you need to paste npx create React app, and then you can provide your React application name here. Let's say emp mgmt. Okay, that is for employee management. Okay, now when you hit this command, you will see that it will start creating a React application for your local system. Okay, and it will be completely front end app, and in this React application we will see that how we can populate or how we can consume the Rails APIs to show the data or to work with the React application. We will not only fetch the list of employees, we will also perform CRUD like creating employees, editing employees, showing the employees, deleting the employees, and so on, and like importing the employees using CSV file as well. And later on, we will keep adding multiple features into our Rails application, and then we will implement the consumable APIs into our Rails API as well. Okay, so let's this is app creation to be finished here. So here you can see that the app has been generated. Now what we need to do, just like a Rails application, we do that once we created the project, we need to switch to the project directory. So we need to do the same thing here, like let's say cd and then emp mgmt. Okay, and then you need to run this command npm start. So npm start. When you run this npm start, you will see that something is already running on port 3000, that is our Rails application. Okay, so what we can do, that we can run our application on the different port which is not the 3000. Okay, because by default Rails application runs on the localhost 3000 and React application is also runs on the 3000. Okay, so we would like to run the app on another port. Okay, so we will press the yes. Okay, so here you can see that as soon as we click the yes, now our React app is working here. Okay, and now just go to the terminal and we will open it into the new Sublime directory. Okay, so now you can see that this React project is opened into the Sublime. So here you can see that this is the directory structure of your React application. Like first it comes with the node modules and then some public directory and then src. So this is the directory where we had to do all the things that we want to perform. And here you can see that this is the app.css, and app is a basically component. Okay, and you can just go through the chat gpt and you can tell chat gpt that please explain the basic directory structure of a React application. For example, just go to the browser and here on the chat gpt screen what we can do, please explain the basic directory structure of a React application. Okay, and when you submit this question you will see that react chat gpt will start explaining this directory structure. So here you can see that what is the purpose of each directory. Okay, and React is an application which worked on components. Okay, so you can understand from the like what are the components in the React. So for example, just type here what are the React components. Okay, so when you run this then it will start explaining that what are the components in the React application. And there are two type of components, like functional components and the class based components. And you can also ask for the difference between functional components and the class components. Okay, and majorly in the latest React versions we will use the functional component to get our work done. Okay, so here you can see that in this React project app is also a component. Okay, and whenever we make a component it is made like app.js, or let's say if you want to create a employee list component then it would be list employee or employee list.jsx. Okay, and let's make the format like jsx. Okay, because React used JSX extension to create its JavaScript component. Okay, and here what you can do that we can simply remove this logo because we don't need this logo, so we can just remove it. And when you save it and go to the browser you will see that logo will be removed from this browser page. Okay, and you can remove this link as well because we don't need that, so you can just close it. Okay, and when you save it you can see that there is nothing like that. And just to remove that background what you can do, first come here and you can remove this logo and app.css. Okay, and here you can see that your React application is completely blank now. Okay, and what you can do here further to display something in your page, like let's say you can add an h1 element, and here my first React application, save it and now go to the browser. So here you can see that it work with the two-way binding, like whatever you make change in the file it will be reflected as soon as possible on the page. And without refreshing the page, you don't need to refresh the page like your Rails application, where if you make any change then you have to refresh your page or you have to send a new request to see the effect on the browser. Okay, so now what we have that my first text application text on the browser. Now if you want to understand that what this function is doing, you can simply copy this function. Let's say copy this function and go to the chat gpt, and here on the chat gpt just paste it, please explain the following snippet. And when you paste it here and submit it, then you will see that the chat gpt will start explaining each and everything from this snippet. Okay, so let the response generation to be finished. Here you can see that it is the functional component. So app is a functional component defined using a JavaScript function. Function components are the simple functions that make in props are the properties that we will see how it works later in the course. Okay, as input and return react elements to describe the user interface, and then return statement, and then JSX structure, export default. Okay, this exports the app component as the default export of the module. Okay, that allows other part of the application to import and use the app component. Okay, so overall this component defines the basic structure of a react application. Now we just created our react application. Okay, and first API point that we want to consume is to display this employee list into the react version. Okay, so what we need to do, that first we need to tell the react that what we want to display. Okay, so first to go to the terminal, and in the rails application just open rails c. Okay, because we want to get all the attributes of the employee model. Okay, so employee dot column names. Okay, so here you can see that we have these columns in the employee model. Okay, so just copy it, and then what we will tell react to the chat gpt that I have a rails api with employee model, and the employee model has following attributes. Now I want to display all the employees records on the react application. How can I do that? Okay, and when you prompt this question and ask this question, then ChatGPT will tell you that how you can do that. So here you can see that. Let's first finish this response generation. Okay, and here you can see that what it does, that it fetches the employee records from the rails api. Okay, so first you need to create your employee list function in employee list component into your react application. Okay, so here you can see that import react use state use effect, and we will ask ChatGPT to explain everything about the use state use effect, and ChatGPT will do that for us. And here you can see import exos from exos, and then employee list, then const employee set employees, it uses the use state. And I explained the use state use effect in detail with one of my playlist, where I showed you that how to work with a react application into a rails application itself, where I shown you some examples where the react part is also developed within the same rails application. Okay, so to use that, what, and if you want to learn this part independently, you can go check out that playlist, and I will mention that playlist link into the description of the video. Okay, you can just go out and check out from there. Okay, and now let's create a employee list component into our application. Okay, so first what we need to do this employee list. Okay, and here in the chat gpt, what you need to do, first create a new component directory. So new folder and name it as components. Okay, and in the components, let's make another directory which is employee. So new folder employees. Okay, and then in the employees component, you need to create the employee list component. So create a new file now, and that is employee list dot jsx. Okay, so here you can see that we created this employee list dot jsx component, and now we need to copy this entire code from the chat gpt and paste it here and save it. Now you can see import react use state use effect from react, and import exos from exos. Okay, and then employee list controller, here you can see const employees set employees use state, and then it is using to fetch all the employees. Okay, and we need to mention our url endpoint here. So what we can do, let's first mention the url, that is http localhost colon 3000 slash api slash v1 slash employees. Okay, and now you can see the other part, and then go to the chat gpt screen again, Okay, and so here you can see that replace your API endpoint employees with the actual endpoint of your Rails API where you fetch the employee records, and we did that. Okay, and now what we need to do, that render the employees record in your main component or wherever you want to display the employees records, import and render the employee list component. And app.js is our main component, so here we will display the list of employees. Okay, so what we can do, that we just need to do this line. Okay, just copy it and open the app.js, and here at the top of the app.js what you can do, just paste it and save the file. But if you save the file at the moment, for example, let me save the file, and then you will get an error and go to the browser at where your React app is running, and you can see that can't resolve employee list in home your project as path. Okay, so why we are getting this error? Because here you can see that we are we are importing dot slash employee list. That means it is considering that employee list is directly available in the src format, but it is not in our case. Why? Because we stored it within the components and then employees directory within our src directory. So what we need to do, slash components and then employees. Okay, now if you save this and go to the browser, then you will see a different error, that is can't resolve Axios, because Axios is not installed in our React project so far. Okay, that error is fine, and we will ask ChatGPT to resolve that. Okay, but that file naming is correct now. Okay, so we are importing the employee list from the correct path. Okay, and now then go to the ChatGPT again, and here you can see that what it does in the app component, that it is importing employee management system and so on. So what we can do, that we can import this employee list component within the app component. Okay, so after this heading, my first React application, you can paste it. Okay, and then save it, and now it's time to resolve this error, which is can't resolve exhaust. Okay, so we can just copy this error, and we will ask chat gpt that I'm getting this error. Okay, so just do that and go to the chat gpt, and here you can paste it. I am getting the following error, and paste this error. Okay, and when you paste this error, ChatGPT will give you command to employ to install the exist in your application. Okay, so whether you are preferring the npm, or if you are using yarn, you can choose whatever you want to use. Okay, but I'm using yarn, so I will use this command, that is yarn at exist. Okay, so just copy it and go to the terminal. Okay, and now go to the terminal where your server is running. Okay, so just to paste it here. Okay, and run the command. Okay, so when you run this command, it will add the XJS module into your React application. Okay, and after adding this error will gone, and you will not see that error. Okay, and you need to do this step because XJS is an important library which you need to make request to consume your API endpoints in your React application. Okay, so let's finish this installation, and then we will see whether we are still seeing that error or not. So go to the browser and refresh your React application page. Okay, so now you can see that export default imported as XOS was not found in XOS. Okay, so for example, first we will try by restarting the server. Okay, so restart it, and then let's print the yes. Okay, so here you can see that now we are not getting any error. That is my first application, React application and employee list. So when you install XJS in your, or when you add XJS in your React application, make sure to restart your server where the React application is running. But we are not seeing the employee list data here. Okay, so what we can do, that we can just go to the inspect, and here you can see that we are seeing the error. Okay, so here you can see that access to XML HTTP request at HTTP localhost colon 3000 API v1 employees from origin localhost 3001 has been blocked by course policy. And it is right, because we need to support this course policy to get the consumer to consume the Rails APIs. Okay, so first what we need to do, that we need to add the course gem into our Rails application. So first go to the new browser tab and search for here like gem course. Okay, so when you go to this James documentation, here you will see that what you need to do, that this James work as a middleware. Okay, and it supports the cross origin resource sharing between the application. For example, you have one API application and the other one is front end application, and if you want to consume the API endpoints from your front end application, then your backend application must support this middleware. Okay, so what you need to do, that copy this gem rec course. Okay, so just copy this and go to the sublime directory of your Rails application. Okay, and here what you need to do, that just add this gem. Okay, and then go to the terminal where your Rails application is running, and then you need to run bundle install. Okay, this will add the rake course gem into your Rails application. Okay, and now what you need to do, that you need to create an initializer file, which you can find it here. Okay, so just copy this. Okay, and then in the config initializer directory, you need to create a file that is course.rb. Okay, so just go to the Rails application initializer directory, and here what you need to do, course.rb. Okay, and then paste everything here that we copied from there. Okay, and here what we need to do, here you can see that allow origins all and resources all, and all the methods get, post, patch, put, and then you can provide here, let's say, delete as well. Okay, because we will delete resources from our React application as well. Okay, so let's define delete, and now restart your Rails server. So go to the terminal again where the Rails application is running. So you can see that now server is working. And if you refresh the your React application where React app is running, and now refresh the page, you will see that this is the list of employees, and you can see that all the employees are listing here, and you can see that we are just seeing the limited data like employee name, their email. Okay, and just go to the React component that is showing the email list. Sorry, in the React application, open it in the Sublime. Okay, and in the employee list, what you can see, that what we are returning, that employee's first name, employee's last name, employee's email. Okay, so if you want to display the complete data, you can do that thing as well. So what we will ask ChatGPT, that I want to display all the employee attributes, okay, in the tabular format. So please write a component for that. For example, let's say here in the ChatGPT, what we did, that first we asked ChatGPT about the attributes, that okay, so what we can do, that let's say copy all these attributes. It's a, until date of hiring. Okay, just copy it, and then I want to display all these attributes in format in employees list component. Okay, paste it here, and then it will show you that how you can use table component into your employee list component. Okay, so just see this. So it is just generating the response, and now what we need to do, that we need to copy this table code from this component. Okay, so just copy this table code only. Okay, and go to your employee list component, and here what you need to do, that instead of UL, just paste it here. Okay, so we have the table component, and now if you wish, you can remove this UL component. Okay, just save it now, and when you go to the browser where your React app is running, you can see that it is showing the data in the tabular format, like ID, first name, last name, email, contact number, address, pin code, city, state, date of birth, and date of hiring. Okay, so this is how you can consume Rails APIs using the React application. And let me take you through the all the scenarios that we completed here. So here you can see that first we created that React application from ChatGPT, by I mean by asking to the ChatGPT, and then we created an employee component. And in the employee component, what we did, you can see that we created a functional component named as employees list. Okay, and here you can see that we are returning a JSX, which is showing the employees data into the tabular format. And here you can see table, t head, tr, and then t body. And in the t body, just like in the rails we iterate the records in the t body format, we are iterating all the employees data that we are getting from the backend, and it is using map function. And map is also javascript function that is used to iterate over a collection of elements, or for example an array or hash. Okay, so we can use that. Now what we will do, and that's all for this lecture. Okay, so here we just consume the index section of the employees controller from the rails api part. Okay, now in the next lecture what we will do, that here you can see that we are rendering this detail, and in the next lecture we will separate this table component into a separate other component which work as the child component for the employee list component. Okay, and here you can see that in the rails part we are seeing the proper formatting table like bootstrap style table, and in the react app we have a very basic table. Okay, so we will also learn that how we can add bootstrap into react application to show the data in better visuals. Okay, so meanwhile go through this lecture, try to create a react application at your end, and try to consume the api endpoint to list all the employees in the react application. And we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.